Hello everyone. It is Monday, November 13th, I think. 12th, 13th, something like that. I believe the 13th of November. We're in the North Loop neighborhood of Minneapolis, Minnesota. And we are gonna walk around the North Loop a little bit, walk along the route of the new proposed light rail extension line, and explore a bit. So thank you for coming along, and let's see what we see. I did recently just get a new microphone today, so if you can hear me, I guess let me know. I'm not sure what the audio quality will be like, so kind of a test stream today. If it's really bad or not coming through at all, I'll know later. But yeah, this is the new Duffy lofts that are being renovated up ahead here. They're doing both sides of the skyway are being renovated. That skyway is actually brand new. The old one got taken down. I think it said historic Duffy or something on there. And then you have the Sherwin-Williams building, home of R Street's Minneapolis, right here. Actually might go around here because that backside is blocked off. So this new construction is coming up here pretty rapidly. I think the last time I was in North Loop for one of these videos was in February or so, and they were just hammering in the foundation. It was sub-zero that day. There's a new apartment building and parking ramp here coming in. And then soon we'll have a passageway to get from 3rd Street here over to that courtyard that we're going to head to now. North Loop is the warehouse district neighborhood in Minneapolis. This is probably one of the more popular young neighborhoods in the city, filled with young professionals and that sort of thing. We have a lot of nice new and renovated apartments. Probably over the last decade or so, some of the most development in the city. So we're cutting underneath here in this courtyard next to 3 Jack, which is this golf simulator bar and restaurant. You can see the paneling coming up along the side of that building that they're building here. That's just started being put up over the last week or so. And you have lawn bowling in the summer, curling in the winter out here. It's always cool to see outdoor curling. And then we're heading towards Washington Avenue. Main corridors through Minneapolis. That new blue line extension that we are talking about today actually is not going to be going down Washington in this period. which is one of my concerns about the transit line. So we do have bus rapid transit along this street, which is great. But I think if you're viewing transit as that ability to get the most people to the most places as possible, you might want those trains going down that center lane here. Here's your live look at Washington Avenue in November 2023. A lot of really great bars and restaurants. Burro, Bar La Grassa, Parlor, really nice, good quality restaurants in this neighborhood. Really good nightlife in some of these restored historic buildings. On the left here you have bunkers. Oh, Clever Motel. Hi, Blue Line extension, let's go. Yeah, we're gonna be talking about that a bit today. So yeah, I would love to see not the Blue Line, but a separate line that goes all the way down Washington Avenue from, if the Blue Line extends up to Robbinsdale or wherever it goes, that line, but then a separate line that goes Washington Avenue here from Broadway all the way to University of Minnesota, just connecting that major corridor with transit, with trains. But I don't think that's currently in the plans. They do have that bus transit on there now. The bus line is the Deere and Weber building. I recently attended a community meeting. I do work in this neighborhood, so I am involved and invested in the neighborhood, and wanted to hear some of the transit supporters and transit people who are against the transit, who didn't want it in the neighborhood, wanted to hear what they were thinking. Because I think it's really important not to live within these echo chambers where I obviously have this pedestrian YouTube channel and am very walking and transit focused. I do own a car, but I want to hear from people who hold different views so I can understand where they're coming from. And one of the main things that people were saying against it is that they were concerned about the traffic on Washington Avenue and then North 10th Avenue, which we're walking up to here, and I'll talk a bit about that when we get there. But when it comes to traffic on Washington Avenue, it's not a major concern for me, because as a pedestrian on this street, it is what I feel is one of the more dangerous streets in the cities, just due to the speed at which people come down Washington. This is 9th. You see that brick street that we have in the North Loop, just really gives the neighborhood great character. Great feel that you don't see in a lot of Minneapolis. But yeah, I drive and walk down this street nearly every day. It is a street that people are often going incredibly fast down. If I'm walking, I prefer taking 3rd, just because crossing Washington can be pretty dangerous. We have bike lanes on it, but people speed through this street, people speed through the red lights. It is walkable, but I would definitely not say it is a pedestrian-focused street. Clever Motel says, indeed, more trains, less problems. That's my belief. I love riding the train. I would love to be able to come on the train to work, even if the proposed extension is set in. I likely would likely not be riding that train up still, just because it just doesn't fit within my, the route just doesn't really work for me. so I'm more likely to ride the bus up. This is the Club Jaeger. So here we are at Washington and 10th. So that proposal would have 10th Avenue here becoming a transit corridor. The preferred proposal from Metro Transit would have this street becoming a transit corridor to where it would be either no traffic or one lane. And that would bring a pretty major change to the neighborhood, because this is a pretty widely used street to where you do have a lot of cars coming in and out of this every day. And then the line would change right here. We are going to come back to 10th here in a minute or two. I just want to walk up to Plymouth where that station's going to be and then show that a bit first. Clever Motel says Robbinsdale people are concerned about crime being brought up into the city, not realizing it's a lot harder to steal a TV on public transit. That is a belief that I share with you, Clever Motel. Oftentimes I hear people talking about how if we add public transit or add a bus stop or do this, it's going to bring, people that are going to be robbing and stealing and all these different things to the neighborhoods. And if I was to shoot someone or commit a crime, the last place you're going to find me escaping is light rail or a bus, where I am being recorded and it is going to move at their pace and not mine. I would much rather escape a crime in a car, but that is just my belief and how I would do things. But that was one of the major concerns that people were saying, is a lot of the people were straight up saying, yeah, I do support public transit, but there were people in the meeting I went to who literally said, not in my backyard, and they were proud of that. They thought that putting a transit station here on Plymouth and Washington, which this is where the station would be, right here on this corner, which I think is too far from the North Loop, because where we started this walk 5-10 minutes ago, there's all those wonderful restaurants, all those offices where all your young people are working, not that we only need to support young people, where you have these restaurants, just a really vibrant part of our community. And I think that transit needs to be closer, that stop needs to be closer and more accessible for people going into that area. I think this is better, Washington and Plymouth here, than just having a station at Target Field. But you're still 4 or 5 blocks from the heart of North Loop, and you still have to have a bit of a walk. There is, I believe the 14 has a stop right here, which will take you through Washington Avenue. The alternate proposal from Metro Transit, their preferred would go up Washington here, connect Washington all the way up to Broadway, or I think it's 21st, which is the street right after Broadway, and then connect through there and go all the way up to Robbinsdale and Brooklyn Center and connect those northern suburbs with the Mall of America on that blue line. We are on Plymouth Avenue right now. Clever Motel says a train station here being at Plymouth and Washington, would invite new businesses and expand potential. Let's see, we have All City Elevator, the elevator maintenance company. On the corner, on this side, you have A&M Business Interiors, which I've done business with in the past. They are they furnish your office spaces. So they'll bring in desks, chairs, all that sort of stuff, and bring people in to build out your office. I'm not sure what's on this corner. And then I know there's housing services 1 block up. But yeah, I think this is definitely a corner that, regardless of what happens with this transit line, in a decade is going to look very, very different, because that rapid expansion you're seeing in North Loop is going to continue moving upwards. We're seeing it along Broadway now. We're seeing some of those corners that have been problem corners in the city in the past getting more attention and more development, whether it's the new, I think it's called Satori, is the new apartments up there at Broadway and Lyndale, which was historically a pretty dangerous intersection and has the notorious Merwin's liquor. But yeah, the money is investing in North Minneapolis and moving north, so people believe. This is third, I think it's third. So the alternate line, I'm not sure the logistics of how it would work, would connect the train, would have the trains coming up here, going along this way, and then up here, and connecting to Broadway up this street. So it would be detached from that main Washington Avenue, giving the cars and vehicles the priority to Washington Avenue and any businesses that move into there. Which I think so often transit users and cyclists and pedestrians, such as myself, are very quick to, there's a school over here. I don't know how that train coming up here would affect that school. Really don't see where that line would go. I'm interested to hear from Metro Transit. I don't have the link in the video right now, but I will add that into the video description here once I either get back to work or get home later today. That talks a bit about this through Metro Transit, that explains the two different routes and what they're looking to do with it. But yeah, when we think about transit and how, I really like this building on the corner, it's beautiful. How there's really nice brickwork. How oftentimes drivers and people who are using vehicles as their main mode of transportation, automobile, they want those roads to be as quick as possible, and pedestrians often want to get those vehicles off the road and do complete pedestrian walkways. And I think for this route we really do need to find a way to make those two coexist, to where you look to places similar to Dinkytown, where you have traffic that, or you have trains that are very usable, very accessible, can move you through there really quickly. And then along University, you have the single car lanes that are still moving at a decent rate and can still get through there pretty quickly. Clever Motel says that that the stations here would be increasing revenue for bus routes too. Dalir Almeida Marcos says, hi there, giving a thumbs up to the video. Thank you, Dalir. Appreciate it. Dalir Almeida Marcos. I apologize if I'm not saying that incorrectly, but I do appreciate you being here. We are north, looking south towards beautiful downtown Minneapolis on this autumnal day. I am a firm believer that we need to increase the prices of metered parking in some of these areas to help pay for transit and make transit cheaper. I think it's $2.50 a ride in Minneapolis right now, and I can park on 3rd Street for 50 cents an hour. So me, as someone who's going to take a round trip bus ride, it's going to be $5 if I'm taking that bus during peak commute times, which is when I need to go to work. So it's $5 for me to ride the bus, and then for me to take my car, I can park for $4, I think it is, because they're only metered during certain hours. So it's actually cheaper on a day-by-day basis for me to take the car than it is for me to ride the bus, which cheaper, faster. It's not a great way to get people on your bus lines, in my opinion. This is 12th, where that school is. Minneapolis Public Housing Authority. And we're looking south down Washington Avenue, which I will reiterate that the train lines should be going down the center of Washington Avenue in my opinion, and this should be a transit corridor. And cars should be routed to the side streets to where they can move at a safe pace through the city, to where those taking transit and walking and biking can get there as safely and as quickly as possible. All right, we're going to turn on 10th Avenue here. Enjoy that look at Washington. Let's see. Old Jalopy says, on-street parking, even when paid, is almost always time limited to 2 hours downtown, except near and during sport events. Yeah, downtown, I don't know what's going on there. So it's $3 an hour for me to park my car downtown. And downtown, all you hear about is how they're struggling to get people into these businesses. They're struggling to get people downtown. And you're making it expensive to where people aren't wanting to park there. $3 an hour, you can only park 2-3 hours. And then up here, where North Loop, where all this development and where everybody is, you're giving people 50 cent an hour parking for up to 10 hours. It just doesn't add up to me. So this is 10th. This is the proposed transit corridor. So one of the difficulties that they're trying to understand is how they would navigate this, because these lofts here on the left side of the street, the 918 lofts, beautiful historic building. The residents of that building have concerns about the transit sound and what that would mean for people coming to the end of this block if there was no traffic on it, if it was only bikes and pedestrians and people riding the light rail. Concerns about people using that corner spot and how they would congregate back there and what that could bring to their area. Legitimate concerns. We always want people to feel safe in their homes and in their neighborhoods. This is 3rd Street and the historic 918 lofts. Then you have the Redwell, which is a brand new building, mostly rental properties. The latest proposal has the train on this side of the street, and some of the people were saying, why did you move the train from this side to the side where the renters are? Are we punishing renters who can't afford to live on that street? But then one of the other arguments was that this line is going to decrease the property values and increase crime and all these different things, and there's a lot of uncertainty around what that would bring. I think a lot of people don't buy that it would really hurt the property values that much, because people do tend to want to live on transit lines, and as this area has been redeveloped over the last decade, I'm sure that the property values have skyrocketed in this neighborhood. 10-15 years ago, the North Loop was not the nice, sought-after neighborhood it is today. It was historically a very working class neighborhood, and unfortunately the working class has gotten priced out of it a bit. So we got the Salvation Army here. So all of this would have no stops. The second proposal, the alternate, would have it turning here. There's a playground there for that school, so still don't know how any of that would work, how it would go underneath the highway here, freeway, highway, I'm not sure. So it would be turning somewhere in this area and going up there. My guess is it would probably just cut out this parking lot and go right along, hug the side of this building. This underpass right here, I was watching I think it was Go Skateboarding Day. It was some kids from Minneapolis doing a big skateboarding event, just 50 plus kids hanging out skateboarding, and they're underneath here. It was from the video from last year, not this year. So we are underneath the freeway right now, which many people also feel strongly about the freeway passing through the city. From the river to the sea, free Palestine. Another thing that many people feel very strongly about. Yeah, really interesting to see what this. What's up?
You're making a movie?
A YouTube video. It's alive.
Not really that exciting around here.
Oh,
All the
yeah.
homeless people have gone.
Yeah, but today we're talking about the transit line they're talking about putting in here.
Yeah, what's up with that? Are they gonna knock my building down?
I don't
they
think
are.
so.
No?
Maybe someday, but I don't think that would be related to the transit
Do
line.
you work for the transit company?
No, I work for a
No,
tech
because
company
there's
here.
3 possible routes they're thinking about the new blue line.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them comes like right through this building and that triangle building over there, up there, next block over. But
Oh, it's coming through the building. I thought it was
Yeah,
coming
no,
right in front.
I don't know how they're gonna exactly do it, but they might have to acquire this building to do so.
Oh.
But there's 3 possible routes. One goes like one way, one comes like through this house, and one goes like, but you know, if they come this way, they only gotta acquire like 1 or 2 buildings, where the other route, it's like 11 buildings, I think.
Ah.
So, path of least resistance makes sense to me.
Yeah, interesting stuff.
Kind of too small for my family anyway, so.
Hey, thank you.
It's cheap.
It's cheap? Well, see, that's what we need. We need to keep cheap stuff in this neighborhood,
No,
right?
I know. Well, you know, it's really nice over there, and then you go this way a few blocks, it's not so nice.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, the goal is to bring the
so.
transit
I
line.
grew up in Rhode Island, but, you know, I'm kind of used to the whole city thing anyway, but when I first moved to Minnesota back in 2018, well, the end of 2018, it was, what was that kind of mean? Anyways, I was paying $600 a month up in Virginia, Minnesota, in the Iron Strange.
Mm-hmm.
4 bed of 600. And then I was in Isabella, out in the middle of the woods. Not Isabella, in Paris. I paid $900 for a single family home on 5 acres. Boy, I moved here, $1,395 for a 2-bedroom. I'm like, I gotta get a storage to have my shit. You know, I got a 4-year-old and my little guy 2 today.
Hey, happy birthday to the little guy. Congrats.
Yeah, no, he's cool. So, you know, and I just turned 50, so
Hey,
you
happy
know, having
birthday,
kids
yeah.
like this late in life is a blessing, because I never had them like when all my friends did. So, you know, they all got adult children now. Graduating college and got full-time jobs and this and that. But, yeah, no, it's pretty fine. I'm not sure, you know, and the landlord don't really say anything, but it hasn't become public knowledge exactly which route they're going to choose yet. So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens.
Well, hopefully we
your
can
name,
keep
man?
you in the neighborhood. Tim.
Tim, Chris.
Chris, nice
Yeah,
to meet you.
man.
Hey, best of luck.
All right, yeah, enjoy your filming.
Hey, thank you. Yeah, I don't know how much of that you guys could hear with, because I don't know how much the microphone picks up. This is, as I mentioned earlier, my first stream with this new microphone. I was talking to a man named Chris, father with 2 kids. His family lives in a 2-bedroom here. It's $1,400, and you can't find $1,400 housing in this neighborhood really at all anymore. I have a coworker who was looking for a 1-bedroom for $1,400 in the North Loop and could not get approved for a single one. The only ones that they did have were subsidized. Clever Motel says that they got it all. Glad to hear that. Yeah, so the line would be coming up this way, so I'm not sure why it would have to take out that building, but I believe him. If that is what he has been told, it's likely that they're getting information on what the future would look like for them from the parties who are planning this out. I know that the Metropolitan Council and all that does try really hard to let the stakeholders know what's going to happen and what the proposals could mean for them. So I'm just waiting to cross right here. There's no call signal. Well, it looks like there is a call signal here, but not on the other side. So here's that building that Chris and his family lives in. We will see what the future holds for these apartments. This is 5th. Connects you to downtown Target Field. Target Field Station's up that way, but the line wouldn't exactly go there. The line's gonna go around here up to 7th. Metro Transit employee parking. There's definitely a joke there somewhere about this massive parking ramp for the Metro Transit employees. But hey, we don't want to be cynical. Downtown Minneapolis. I believe the initial proposal, before the two that were currently being discussed, debated, researched, all that, involved the line going west here and then going over to Lyndale and cutting up Lyndale. But some of the neighborhoods there were able to talk Metro Transit or the Met Council or whoever's making that choice out of that route. And I actually think that this new one is better, but I still do think we need more train access through that Washington Avenue corridor. This is 7th. This is the corner where the transit line would turn if we were to get that light rail train up here. You can see up ahead. Oh, I'm a little delayed here, so the screen's a little delayed from where my finger is. So I was trying to like point to something and getting lost myself a bit. But you can see the crane up ahead is where they are building the, I believe that's the Green Line extension going out to Eden Prairie and St. Louis Park, all that stuff. But beautiful views of downtown Minneapolis. Coming from the north. See Target Field on the left. Multi-Foods Tower straight ahead. The Multi-Foods is the brown one here. And then IDS, the tallest one there on the right. Oh yeah, I think I changed some settings to try to get a little bit better video quality. So if the quality is better or worse than normal, you can let me know. Otherwise, I'll be taking a look at it later anyway, watching it back tonight. We'll see. Metro Transit. So the line would be coming through here. I don't know exactly the logistics of it. If they would be extending this, oh, that's a bridge, or if it would be above when it comes over here, or what. But the line would be extending this way and then up 7th there before connecting to 10th. That's construction for that wouldn't start for another 3-4 years, but if I'm still here in Minnesota and still making videos, I'll definitely bring a video of that at that time. Over here on 7th, on that other side of Target Field, there is a pretty largely used bus stop for a lot of the routes from South Minneapolis on the southwest side. So if you're unable to connect to the blue line, you get dropped off on this side of Target Field. I think finding some way to connect that side to Target Field Station would be great, because when I take the bus and walk to work, I get dropped off up here and have to walk still 5-6 blocks to get into the heart of the North Loop. Another Metro Transit building. You can see the North Loop green, this tower coming up here. We've watched that one come up a lot over the last year and a half since I've been doing the channel here. A lot of changes made to that. We'll get closer. Clever Motel says, good to catch you live, brother. I gotta get going. Walk safely. Love your stuff as always. Hey, love having you here. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you have a great rest of your day. And until next time. You have the Hennepin County Energy Recovery Center, which is in kind of an unfortunate spot now because that is in the middle of those two lines, where if we wanted to connect to Target Field from 7th over there, that building would probably have to be moved, or it'd have to build a cross over there. Not sure what that would look like. Yeah, you can see the light rail lane above us. Train path. Got the Holiday Station here in the Palmer, which is Palmer's a newer apartment complex behind it. The Element Hotel. Really nice central location if you're going to a baseball game, concert, whatever at Target Field, or going to a concert at the Fillmore. Really great spot for that. Here's that Palmer and 5th. We were up 5th there. You can see in the distance way up here, kind of that red is where we were talking to that man named Chris about his family living in those apartments up there and what's going to happen to them in the future. That uncertainty around their housing with that line coming in. Here we go. Right, this is the Fillmore, Minneapolis, a relatively new venue, maybe 2-3 years old if I remember correctly. Maybe it came around before the pandemic. Hands ET full gameplay says, "Hi, nice stream, man, so chill." Hey, I try to stay chill, you know. It's the energy I look to bring in life. Yeah, here is that Fillmore. Thank you for watching today, Hansy. And then this was a Caribou Coffee, but has been closed for a bit. The signage has come down. We'll see what goes in there next. And this is the Target Field station. So this is the current closest station to the North Loop. Connects you over to Washington Avenue, which is 3 blocks up. Let's go take a look in the baseball stadium before I head back. Here's the Ford Center. And we'll obviously take some looks at North Loop Green here, as much as we can. And this will connect you down to the North Star line. We're here outside of Target Field, home of the Minnesota Twins. Very nice stadium, wonderful place to catch a baseball game. Always a really good time. I guess maybe not the best time when it's what is it, June, or not June, when it's 20 degrees outside in April. It can be a little chilly, but a unique baseball experience you don't get everywhere is that sort of a cold day. Hansi says, what time is it there? Let me check my watch. I think it's about 3:15. Yeah, 3:15 in the afternoon, 15:13. If you're on 24-hour time. And we've got North Loop Green here in front of us. Balconies installed. This closer building is the residential tower. It's going to have apartments and short-term housing. Behind, you can see the shorter tower is the office building. And this is where the train lines will continue down to that new loop as it is installed. This is that North Star line, the heavy rail, or commuter rail, I guess. Oh, is this a parking ramp? I thought this was like there's going to be a pedestrian space right here. I'm not quite sure how that works from the renderings. Look at that, they planted some plants in this building construction this summer, even though it's not going to be completed until next spring. They put in flowers for that process. The plaza, courtyard, gathering space out front. There's going to be a outdoor restaurant space on the top floor of the commercial building right here. And I'm not sure what's going to go in here yet, but we'll see. Yeah, this is due to open up early, I believe spring 2024, so a few months away. Once winter's over, we'll be out walking around seeing the complete North Loop Green. If they have some sort of opening ceremony and I can get a invite or get into it, I'll be sure to check it out to try to record that. But thank you all for watching and walking with me today. I appreciate everybody who watches this channel for 30 seconds, 30 minutes, whether you've watched every video or what. I appreciate you taking some time with me. If you enjoy the videos, please do like the video, subscribe to the channel, and if you like catching me live, turn on notifications and we can chat. Always appreciate everybody in the chat. We are gonna continue walking back, and I'll probably give you another 10-15 minutes or so here, and then I will head back to work. Josh Butts, thank you for watching. It's my pleasure to stream. You can see the Twins offices here. See people up there working in their office. The front office of the team there. I think they are a pretty good baseball team this year. Texas won the baseball championship, the World Series, but I think the Twins were in it for a bit there. Maybe made it through the first round or something. If you are engaged in Minnesota sports, the Timberwolves are the current excitement around town. Apparently they've been winning a lot of games and doing well. A lot of people are very hopeful about that. Yeah, the Twins beat the Blue Jays. I remember that one. And then I think they lost the next one. And I think there was some sort of history with them and the Blue Jays where the Toronto Blue Jays had knocked them out of the playoffs quite a few times or something. Oh, the Astros, they're the ones who cheated. Well, we'll just assume that they cheated, right? This is the, I don't know if it's called a street harp or what. Sidewalk harp. Sidewalk harp by Jen Lewin. Very cool street installation here. You put your hand underneath and then it'll make a sound. As we walk on. Looks like you have a transit officer checking on someone over here. I think one thing that I don't see a ton of on the streams, but I do get emails and comments about quite a bit after the fact, is people asking about crime and safety and defunding the police, whatever that means, and all this stuff. Yeah, the sounds there are so cool. I can't walk by there without checking it. But yeah, I feel you see police presence or transit police presence pretty commonly throughout the city, and for the most part, I feel pretty fine throughout the city. I think things get exaggerated. So here's the commercial tower there of North Loop Green, which that commercial space, the anchor tenant is going to be Piper Sandler, the boutique investment firm from here in Minneapolis, which will be another big loss to downtown Minneapolis and Nicollet Mall as they move from that central downtown area up to North Loop. So North Loop is where the food halls are, where everybody wants to be, where the baseball team is. Gray's is another cool place. I think they've got 5 or 6 different restaurant windows in there where they rotate. I don't know how commonly, if it's intentional rotation or whenever a spot opens up. But nice outdoor space and lots of different restaurant concepts. So if you feel like a burger, your friend feels like a burrito, your other friend feels like barbecue, you can all get what you want and have a nice time together. This is the Designers Guild building, home to Bricksworth Beer, which just moved in this winter, I think maybe February or so, initially from one of the southern suburbs, and then they moved in their new second location there. I think it's that Detroit style pizza and beer that's pretty popular. Josh Butt says weather seems nice, wonder how long that will last. I think for the week we're supposed to stay pretty great. I'm in a knit cap, beanie, toque, whatever they're called, and a bomber coat, and I am hot on this walk. It's got to be mid 50s, if not 60. Pretty warm, beautiful sunny day. Those sun's rays are keeping me nice and toasty. And I think for the rest of the week we're supposed to stay these nice warm temperatures, and then you never know where it turns from there, because as we all know with Minneapolis, snap your fingers, it could be a snowstorm of epic proportions at any time. One of my favorite things about 3rd Street, which 3rd Street is one of my favorite streets to walk in North Loop, are the views of the beautiful clock tower at the Minneapolis City Hall. This gorgeous Richardsonian Romanesque building with those just super cool clock towers, all the spires. Love that building, and the way the light shines off there in the mornings. It's so cool. When I'm walking into work, I always love that view. Unfortunately, it doesn't translate to video just as well, but it is still cool. You can see it from here. Obviously, with your full eyesight, you're going to be a little more clear, but such a cool building. When I'm coming in the morning and I see that clock tower sticking up and the lights hitting the building here on the right, which I believe is Nicollet 365, the light shines off there just the right way at certain times of year, and it's just sparkling and glowing when you come in. Just a gorgeous way to start the day. Steve Jeffrey says, good evening from Portsmouth, England. Watching your videos for the first time. Welcome, Steve. Glad to have you. Hope you're having a great day in Portsmouth, England, or a great evening, I guess. appreciate you checking out the stream and checking out Minneapolis today. Looking over that North Star line to Target Field with that new North Loop green here in the foreground. I think there's that Amazon offices here in this brown building right here. I believe it's called T2. Steve Jeffrey says, will you be doing winter snow videos? Absolutely. I'll be recording all year round. I love recording in the winter. I love walking in the snow. The videos do tend to be a bit shorter because the extreme cold here makes it difficult for the camera's battery life. So I did get a new phone this year, but last year I think my cell phone battery was able to last 15-20 minutes during those really cold winter days. But when it's in the 30s, I can get a good 30-40 minutes out of it. But yeah, I'll definitely be doing winter videos, whether it's trying to come out in snowstorms or the winter events we have throughout the city. I think a really important part of Minnesota life and Minnesota culture to share is how we go about in the winter. So here we are back at Washington. I was planning to walk up Washington and then cut the video off, but I'm going to show you a couple cool spots before. I'll give you guys a couple quick recommendations of some places I like in this neighborhood before I head out for the day. So we're crossing Washington on 5th Avenue, coming towards 2nd Street. And this building on the corner is the 5th Avenue Market. There's a Tower Place Suites by Marriott here, so a hotel. But 5th Avenue Market here is home to a new place called Egg on a Roll, which a chef from, I believe, the Hewing Hotel, which is a historic hotel here in Minneapolis, opened this up 4, maybe 5 months ago. I think it was about this summer. And all they do is it's inside this market. They make egg sandwiches. I think he's got about 5-6 different ones that he makes. Really good stuff. Worth checking out if you like a quick handheld bite in the neighborhood. My coworkers love it. I love it every time I've been in there. If you're a fan of the runny egg, probably not the place to go. But if you're just looking for a good, tasty egg sandwich, it'll do the trick. The way they cook the eggs, it is, I think he does like a batch scramble type thing. And with that, you can't get that runny style, which is my favorite, but the sandwiches in there are really good. Oh, there they are now. This is Egg on a Roll in there. That's the guy in the yellow shirt. Very nice guy. Great food. Egg on a Roll in 5th Avenue Market. come in, get a rolling start to your day with an egg Sammy, egg on a roll. Skip the line by ordering online, eggonarollmn.com. Egg on a roll. Hey. If I was to give a criticism of the North Loop neighborhood, that is pretty much the only little bodega market in the area. There's a Whole Foods 3 or 4 blocks up, but that's on Hennepin. Not a ton of grocery options in the area, but you can get a lot of your little day-to-day stuff in there at the Fifth Avenue Market. Beautiful sunny day today. All right, now we are walking north on Washington Avenue, almost making a full loop. North Loop was at one point essentially all warehouses. It was considered the warehouse district decades ago, but now it's all renovated. There are very few warehouses left here. Everything is apartments, condos, restaurants. Nolo's Kitchen and Bar, delicious restaurant. This place here, Duffy Coffee and Backstory Coffee Bar. So it's Duffy's the building. There's a few different Duffy buildings, but this is Duffy Studios and Backstory Coffee. Absolutely gorgeous inside there. I do not think they would want me recording inside there. They just, I like to check with people before going in, stuff like that, but really cool atmosphere in there. Backstory Coffee in the North Loop in Minneapolis. Probably my favorite coffee shop in the neighborhood. But yeah, North Loop used to be the warehouse district. There were, back 50, 100 years ago, multiple like garment worker riots, I believe, within the neighborhood. And unfortunately, I think there was a run-in with police officers that involved in multiple fatalities from some of the employees who were, whether on strike or whatever was going on there. I'm not super educated on the details of it, but yeah, historic working class neighborhood. This is Black Sheep coal-fired pizza. Some of the best pizza in the city. Absolutely fantastic quality. Very lucky to have it here in this neighborhood. They hard to beat here in Minnesota. That delicious thin style. But I think we are coming up on a full loop. So we started across the street there at this building here. I believe it's called the Nordic. And we will end checking out some of that construction at that new building coming in behind it. And I'll cut out here in a minute. But thank you everybody for tuning into the stream. Appreciate all of you today. If you enjoy seeing Minneapolis, if you want to explore Minneapolis or Minnesota with me, please do subscribe to the channel and turn on the alerts if you are looking to catch me live. I appreciate all of you that are here today, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you all soon.